Well, what's up, everybody? I'm your amateur host, fantasy football host right now. My name is Alex, and I got my good buddy Matt Mayfield here.
How's it going?
And our returning special guest, who is the Madonna of our group.
Drag Mario. Just Mario.
Did you say drag Mario?
I've got one
Just
name.
Mario.
Oh, just Mario. I thought you heard drag Mario. I was like, man, that's nice.
Switching things up.
That's true. What's going on, guys? Do we want to just jump right into it?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
What's okay? The first thing I had was just a few hours ago. It was AP to Arizona. What do y'all think about that?
I think that just shows how bad Chris Johnson sucks.
Right? Like, he just picked him up, and Chris Johnson's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to C2K, Y2K, whatever the fuck his name is, his nickname that he gave himself. Like, he was pretty excited about it.
He can't do worse than Chris Johnson. But
right? So it's a win-win for Arizona, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's...
Who wins? New Orleans wins with this trade, right?
With a sixth-round pick?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, Tom Brady was a sixth-round pick, so, yeah, you never know.
Well, there you go, dude.
Wow.
Diving in deep.
But, I mean, I think it's a decent move for Arizona.
For both teams?
Yeah, they had to take a chance. I mean, Chris
But
Johnson
the dude's coming down. I don't really think he's...
No, I mean, he's not Adrian Peterson of 3 years ago.
He pre-switch. He's not pre-switch days. You know what I'm talking about? The switch? Where you beat the shit out of his kid?
Yeah.
Get it?
Yes.
It took me a second, but yeah.
Yeah. They're called switches, guys. Come on. Get with the times.
Yeah.
What else? What else we got going on? Did y'all just wake up?
No.
Yeah. What time is it?
It's a Tuesday night. So you know what that means. We're fucking talking football.
That's true.
Fantasy football.
Tuesday nights.
It's fantasy football and DraftKings. We got a lot of good shit.
No, I mean, I think things are clearing up a little bit. You're kind of seeing, which teams are actually good and which teams aren't. But then there's still the surprises when you're just like, how did that happen? What do
you think about Ben Roethlisberger and his shitting the bed, basically?
That was just bad game planning, if you ask me. I mean,
he was forcing it. It looked like he was forcing a lot of times. You have Le'Veon Bell.
Statistically, they were going against the worst run defense in the league, the number one pass defense, and they threw the ball 55 times.
So why do you do that?
They ran the ball with Le'Veon, 15 times, something like that?
So why doesn't Le'Veon Bell get in a fight with a Gatorade?
Yeah, exactly. That's what he needs to do.
Right? I mean, doesn't he need to do that? And then he gets the ball the next week? And AB and Le'Veon just go back and forth against his Gatorade?
Yeah, it just didn't make any sense to me why they wouldn't run the ball more. I don't know what they were doing. I mean, they weren't even... it's not like they got blown out either. I mean, they were down 2 scores at the end there.
Did y'all play Big Ben going forward?
No. I got offered a trade, and I said, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah, right? I mean, until you see him do something a game or two.
I know it's just one game, but he hasn't done anything for me to... If he was on the waiver wire right now and he was just sitting there, I would skip past him.
Did you see the quote that they had got from him in the...
Yeah, he said he doesn't even have it anymore.
Right.
But then he had a quote just a few hours ago or earlier today, and he was saying how he's one of the best to ever play the game. Come Sunday, So, I mean, I think the quote from him on Sunday was just a...
frustration.
Yeah. It's like...
Do you talk about yourself like that? Like, you're a pretty damn good mathematician.
I always tell people I'm the greatest math person in the world.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to ask you. I was like... Do you go around telling people what you're fucking amazing at? Man. Like, Mario, do you tell people how fucking tall you are and, how badass a tall person you are and a DraftKings
all the time
beast you are?
Yeah.
Do you wear a corsage thing that says how much money you've won?
No, I have a championship belt.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But only at the grocery store, just in case people. You ever seen those people wear those?
And it actually has lights flashing on it that shows how much money he's won. So
it's up to date too.
It's like a little ticker.
Yeah.
So
other little headline. This isn't. I mean, this is definitely NFL and fantasy related. I don't know if you noticed, but the guy that won the Millie Maker this week. The big tournament on DraftKings was the CEO of Roto Grinders, which is one of the sites that I subscribe to.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the CEO of Roto Grinders won the $1 million, and then he won $100,000 in another competition or in another tournament.
So does he get to keep that?
Oh yeah, right. And I mean, you got to think. Obviously, he just made $1 million, but he's also going to make so much money off of new subscribers when they see, the CEO just won. And then I think another guy, Mario said another guy in the $333 tournament got third place from Roto Grinders, like one of the other big ones.
Another guy won first in the 333, I think, and then they were like both in the top 10.
They just
like
so Roto Grinders crushed it this week, and that's. That'll carry them for the rest of the season. It'll get subscribers. Like I already subscribed to them. I have since basketball season. Isn't that crazy though?
That's fucking amazing, man.
And that's cool even for him. It's not like he's. I'm sure he makes great money or whatever, but to win $1 million in one day, that's got to just be.
You know what? I'm going to top that. Being this is my second week in a row playing DraftKings. I doubled my money.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
So
that's all you can ask for.
You are on the way.
I'm on track seat. So if I were to, and I think I was like 10 points away from being like $100,000. So I was kind of close.
In one of those really, really big tournaments.
Yeah, one of the big ones.
1 point makes the team.
Yes, it's so crazy. You just jump up like 1,000 spots by going 1 point or something.
It's very close.
And so I felt pretty good going. The only because how we talk about on this show. That it's to be determined as far as the name. We've come up with a couple good names, but that's coming soon. But I always take our own advice. Like whenever we say like to go pick up these guys, I actually go and pick up those people and play them. Like I went to go pick up Trent Taylor for the San Francisco 49er guy, the wide receiver. I picked him up for chump change for like $3,200, something like that.
Yeah, I played him in tournaments.
Yeah, and he got me 1.6 points. Not very happy, but I took a shot. That's a risk that I was willing to take.
Those are the ones you have to take especially in those tournaments.
Exactly. So, and then I remember us having a discussion about it and saying, if you want to win big, you're going to have to take those players that no one's willing to take because whenever I keep looking at it, like the way you said, like everybody has the same players, basically. Oh, yeah. But then there's those couple ones I'm like, why are these people taking Terrence West? Mm-hmm. But then I remember it's because what if he does badass, no one else took him and whatever.
It was a weird week from a fantasy perspective. It just was.
It was very strange.
Guys that have been doing great all season long had no point. Todd Gurley was under 10 points for fantasy.
Another example of I don't know what the teams are doing. Just didn't give them the ball. They ran the ball with Tavon
and doesn't Seattle not that good of run stopping?
Well, their first touchdown was Tavon Austin on a run.
Tavon Austin got, I think, almost like half as many carries as Todd Gurley did,
which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that guy's like 87 pounds, right?
Yeah, it's
with his pads on.
Yeah, it's just one of those weeks where you just gotta be like, okay, well, next week because it's like you have to make the right plays and then hope that they come through. Like. This past week, for me, one of the better plays was Melvin Gordon at 6,000, and he was, one of these guys who can get a lot of carries and touches, and so I played him a bunch, and he scored 37 points, and it's one of those things where he's playing a bad run defense, but people don't see it that way, but stats show it is.
And then, do you think it deters people from selecting those players because their values are lower, so they automatically think like, oh shit, if their values are lower, then that means they're not as good.
It's kind of.
Do you know? Does that?
No, it does. I think part of it is it depends on when people are making their lineups. If they fit and they see a name like Melvin Gordon, they might be like, oh man, Melvin Gordon. That's a cool name to have in there. It'll be like people with Adrian Peterson at 3,400. They're going to say, oh, Adrian Peterson. Not anybody that's like good. Good players are gonna play Adrian Peterson because
good managers will not put him in.
Well, no, the good ones will play him, but not just because it's Adrian Peterson and he's cheap. It's because it's a running back that's going to get enough carries and hit value, like Mario was saying before we started. So it's funny because people will probably be on him like. A random person that just started hasn't done it all year long. They're just going to see, man, I can get Adrian Peterson for almost as cheap as anybody.
So you think that's a pretty good name to stick in, like set up your whole lineup and then that flex spot. You're just like
you
have like 4,000.
I don't see it for tournaments.
No, not for tournaments. Definitely not for tournaments.
No, just for fucking around
money. For cash. Maybe. So for cash, when you're trying to just double up your money, cash games.
Yeah, if you're just trying to find a cheap running back that can get you like 10 points for almost the minimum, then yeah.
But if you want to win, you go for the big guys.
Well, if you want to win, you're going to try and hit somebody that's in a perceived
that has a whole lot of upside.
Right.
What is his best games going to be? 60 yards and a touchdown.
Right.
Like
Maybe
12,
a second.
12 points.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
But in cash, that's
That's
if you
gold.
can get that from that amount of money, you're solid. You're good to go forward with it. So right now, if you had to pick the best two teams, I think for me it would be Chiefs
KC.
and Packers.
You think Packers?
Yeah, I think the Packers found. I know Dallas's defense is great, but I think this Jones kid looks like a legit running
Man,
back.
he looks like...
Yeah,
And I don't even know why you would... Someone that's built to be a running back. I mean, I know that this Ty Montgomery like flip-flopped between
he's really
being a wide
receiver,
receiver and a running back and all that BS that we dealt with last season. Like, isn't it smarter just because you had him and like this goes back to, staying true and to their old ways. Like, hey, I know we said you're going to be running back, so let's just keep you here, even though we got this Aaron kid that's way fucking better than you. We'll put him in second and do like that. Why not just put him as like a slot or
I think Green Bay was.
What I mean?
We tried to go with the running back with Eddie Lacy, and he was a complete bust. So let's go back to what we know we're doing and just build around Aaron Rodgers
and just dump it off.
But for them going forward, when Montgomery comes back, I mean Jones is going to have part of that. He's going to have.
So are you putting those two guys on your team for sure?
I'm glad I don't have either of them once they're both healthy.
Right,
because I think Montgomery's value goes down. The reason he was so good was because he was playing 90+% of the snaps,
and he was
now he's going to go down to 65, 70% of the snaps, and so it'll help Green Bay as a team. I don't think Montgomery's going to be a bad fantasy play, but not nearly the. I thought he really could finish as a top 5 running back this year with as much.
Honestly, I didn't even think he'd get past 6 weeks, and I was kind of.
You're right.
Pretty
Yeah,
right.
I was just going to say, I think Jones is worth a pickup because Tadmon might get hurt again. So.
Yeah, he just looks too fragile. I know he busted through a couple holes and made me eat my words, but then if I look at it as a long, like, how did you look throughout the entire? He's not flying through holes and busting through anything.
Montgomery?
Yeah. He's mostly catching shit, doing sweeps and everything like that.
Yeah. I think he fits into what Green Bay likes to do, though.
Yeah.
That's why he'll keep his value. But that was one of the things I liked the most about Green Bay. Their offense is very good.
As much as it pains me to say, but they're a team that I would not ever want to see again for the rest of the season. Just because they scare me as far as being a Cowboys fan. If Green Bay's your team, then man, I wonder how that feels. Like I had that feeling last season. Being a Cowboys fan, like that was a team to go for or whatever. But now I don't know what to think about. It's still early.
Dallas is amazing at topping themselves on ways to lose to Green Bay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Every time it's something better.
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch any of it, and I called Mario right after I was able to get to my phone, and we were talking, and then I was like, "Wait, did Dallas win?" And he's like, "Seriously, you didn't see it?" I'm like, "No."
Are you a Cowboys fan?
Oh yeah.
Oh okay.
Oh
cool.
yeah.
Excuse me.
Since I can remember, always. Yeah.
All right.
I still have nightmares about that Des Bryant sideline catch.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Anyway, before I start crying,
to Aaron Rodgers, what was it? 3rd and 20. What was that?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
What to Jared Cook?
Yeah.
Fuck that guy. Anyway, do you have something right quick before we want to get to?
No, I think Matt hit on it earlier. I think the good thing for going forward is stats are going to be a little bit more regulated, like they're kind of normalizing. So it's going to be a little bit easier to lean on the data, whereas before it was kind of early. There's not a lot of samples, so
yeah. The more data smart people or people that do a lot of research like Mario, the more data there is, the better it is. So it's like as the season goes until those last few weeks when you never know who's going to play.
Right.
But for this next stretch of 8 games,
right.
the pros or whatever you want to call them, they're really going to. This is when they're solid. Because early on, it's
this is when we shine. I'm just kidding.
yeah.
I was gonna say
exactly.
I try to put myself in your guys' winning teams.
But that's the way it works. Like the first few weeks, it's a guessing game for everybody. The last few weeks, it's a guessing game of who's going to play. Who's going to sit, who's going to play. But now in the middle is whenever they're able to really lock on to people. So
yeah, for people that are 0-5 and 1-4, it's going to be tough.
It is. This guy,
Don't give up. A buddy of mine.
learn for next year too, man.
Well, a buddy of mine, we were in the league 2 years ago. He sent out a email to the whole league. He was 1-4. He's like, "All right, guys, I'm planning for next year as a keeper league. Send me your trades. I want picks for next season, whatever." And we're like, "Dude, it's only week 5, whatever." He's like, "No, I'm done. There's no way I can come back." Dude ended up coming back, won the whole damn league. Like, come on, are you serious?
You just talk yourself down, and you're like, "All right, I'm gonna fuck myself up."
Yeah, and he came back and won the whole league. I was like, "Man, get this guy out of here."
And that's me. Hi, I did that.
There you go.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
And that friend was me, Alex. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's both ends of the spectrum. I remember in Matt's league one year I was killing it. I was like 12-1 in the regular season. And I lost in the first round.
First playoff game. Yeah. Well,
And it happens. What are you gonna do?
And it's like the 0-5 teams. You have to look at it as are you in a 16-team league where only 6 teams make the playoffs? Being 0-5 is a whole lot harder to come back from.
Yeah.
But if you're in a 10-team league and you're 0-5, well, 6th place is probably only going to be 2 and 3. So it's not like you're.
I'm not completely out of it, but I will trade Julio Jones for.
I am in first place in your league.
I know.
And first place in one of my leagues.
I know.
And 4th place in my other league.
I was first place
Doing really well.
until I was overshadowed. Anyway,
2 points or something like that.
I want to get to waivers right quick. I don't have very many waivers. I think the waiver, I told you this earlier.
Yeah,
Earlier today, the waiver pickup of the week, totally football related. Dannon, the yogurt company, dropped Cam Newton, and they went on the waiver wire, searched through all the badasses around there.
That's what that means.
And ended up picking up my boy Dak. My boy.
I was looking at this. I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, what are we talking about?
You're like,
right now?
Dannon picks up Dak.
Who the hell's Dannon?
That's a pretty good pickup, man. I mean,
That's
it's pretty
a
legit
big pickup right there.
Yeah.
So that was my pickup of the week. I know it's if you want to go Orco's, what is it? Orco's Dannon yogurt, whatever. I mean, they don't sponsor the show, but if they want to,
That's right. We're the first ones to talk about them. We're the first ones. To talk about
no one else is going to say the waiver wire pickup. Okay, moving on.
All right.
I liked McKinnon. I did this research thing. I always pick like one player each week to like really dive into, and McKinnon was one of them. And I picked him up in our main league, and then I dropped him like 2 days after because I needed a fancy defense, and I already had 17 running backs. So
Yeah.
but then he ended up exploding on Monday night.
Yeah, I mean, he's always had a lot of talent. It's a good pickup. I mean, it's just a matter of if he's going to capitalize it on it or not.
I think he will because his stats, like his I forget what they call it, his running, his 40-yard, his spark. It's in line, if not better than like Todd Gurley's and
he's like a 98th
Kareem
percentile.
Hunt's. Like
Right.
he's up there. Like his juke rates
Right.
was stupid, ridiculous.
Yeah, he's one of these. He's one of these athletic freaks. I mean,
Yeah, he's a freak dude. So
the problem is, and I say just because. I mean, I think it's a good pickup, but who else graded out that high was Christine Michael. He's a 99th percentile athletic freak, and he just can't run the ball. But
what team was he playing?
Christine.
Yeah,
well, he played for. Remember, he played. He had a chance in Green Bay to be the Green Bay.
and he played with the Cowboys. But I mean, he
had a chance with the Cowboys too when they had a good offensive line, and he had a chance with the Seahawks. And he just couldn't capitalize. I mean, I don't know. I think McKinnon. I mean, he looked.
But you also have to be kind of smart. Maybe he wasn't running down the right hole. Maybe I don't know. It could be a bunch of shit.
Yeah, it could be a lot. But I think McKinnon. He looked good. So
Yeah, he looks pretty solid. And I know last week I said I would not take McKinnon or Latavius Murray, and I'd be my words on that because I would.
I took Murray.
I took Murray too.
Now I'm trying to get McKinnon. That's right. Well, I had Dalvin Cook, and I was set for. I had Dalvin Cook, and I had Kareem Hunt, C.J. Anderson,
all in one league.
And I had Carlos Hyde and Derrick Henry was my sleeper. I'm good. No, all of a sudden Cook's out for the year. Now I'm scrambling.
Hyde's losing.
Hey, C.J. Anderson's supposed to be tearing up this week.
I hope he comes back. I hope he gets some.
He's going to be running like he did against the Cowboys.
I hope so because
I think he will.
I looked really good after week 2, and now I'm trying to trade.
Didn't Melvin Gordon just run all over the Giants?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
the Giants aren't very good.
Crazy. Exactly. So C.J. Anderson. I mean, I know he's not no Melvin Gordon,
and now they have no receivers.
And yeah, so.
But yeah, the thing is with waiver wire right now, it's just hard. I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah, now a lot of the better players are gone.
There's not much depth. Yeah.
And then it's kind of just the best way to do it, I think, is just going to look up just fantasy points against and matchups.
Exactly.
That's the only thing.
Running back's going to be the hardest at this point. I mean, obviously, if you see an injury, you try to pick up the backup if they're not already picked up.
Elijah McGuire for the Jets.
Yeah.
Because Matt Forte is out again, and then Powell's
up. He might play, he might not.
Yeah. So.
A lot of people are really high on that. What is it, Melvin Mack?
Didn't you talked about it
last week? Yeah,
like 2 or 3 weeks ago. But I know you did. But for the Colts,
yeah,
and he looks pretty quick.
He does.
But I don't think he's going to get it's going to be 50-50 share with Gore. So I mean,
and that's I think at this point that's a lot of what you're going to end up getting.
But if you need like 8 points or 9 points,
and I'm telling you, the best thing to do right now on the waiver wire is look at who people are dropping. Because
those are fun times. I love looking at people's scraps.
Yeah. Like, honestly, I didn't look quick enough. When you dropped McKinnon, I would have taken McKinnon and dropped Murray. Now, I'm not going to drop Murray quite yet because I want to make sure there's another game and McKinnon still gets the bulk of the carries, which he should, but you never know.
I don't like Murray. Like
I've never liked Murray. When he was with Oakland, I didn't like him, but I just picked him up because I thought he was going to end up being... It's one of those where I seriously picked him up to try to keep him away from other teams. You know?
I like doing that.
That's really what I was doing.
That's one of my most favorite things to do.
Garbage time I was going to talk about.
All right. Mauro, do you have any other waivers that you want to talk about?
No, I mean you guys covered it. Yeah, it's a little rough.
I do first. So the other thing too is for like receivers, it might be a little bit easier. I mean, in some of the leagues, especially in standard leagues, there's guys like Will Fuller who seems to really have a good connection with Watson. Yeah. He's probably going to be okay in standard and PPR.
I have him in a standard, and he scored me 17
exactly.
points.
He looks good in both. Devin Funchess looks good in both. Cam likes it. I mean, when you see him run, I seriously wasn't sure if it was him or Kevin Benjamin.
So are you trying to get rid of what's his name? What the fuck is his name? The running back.
McCaffrey?
Yeah, McCaffrey.
No, I think you got to hold on to him. He's got too much talent.
You have to, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I know he gets me 9 points or 8 points, but it's because he just has one touchdown and 20 yards.
It's so
they
stupid. Just haven't figured out the system for him yet. They just haven't figured out like how to utilize him correctly.
I got to buy low for you. If you want to buy low, you can buy low on Amari Cooper. Try and trade for him.
Yeah.
I know.
I think that's the move right now.
Personally. Right, because he's dropped like 82 passes.
Yeah,
89. I think that matches his jersey.
He's going to be lower than he is now. Carr's coming back. Schedule's getting easier. They've already played the Broncos once, so they only got one more Bronco game.
And is that within the?
Yeah, I mean, it's before the season. Yeah, okay. But their schedule's going to lighten up pretty soon. So I don't know. For me, trying to target Amari Cooper as a trade is the place to be. But I mean, I think more than waiver wires right now, it's a matter of trying to fleece your fellow owners. Try and exploit them where they're not thinking clearly.
I did that today.
Yeah,
you did.
Are you being honest when you say that was a good?
Oh yeah,
trade?
No doubt. I mean,
yeah, we talked about it on the way over.
You got.
Yeah.
I feel like
again, so the trade ended up being Ezekiel Elliott, Zach Ertz, and
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch was who you received, and you gave up Melvin Gordon, Jimmy Graham, and
Doug Martin.
There you go. So I don't think it would have been as good of a trade if Doug Martin was one of your starters, but he wasn't. He was a bench player for you. So you're getting Marshawn Lynch back in that same spot, going to be a bench player for you. You could use Marshawn Lynch just as much as you were going to personally use Doug Martin.
I'd probably use Marshawn Lynch more than Doug Martin. I think the reason why I picked Doug Martin was for something like this because I could wave him in front of have one good game and then wave him in front of somebody.
Zeke's going to be better than Gordon the rest of the way. And Ertz is the best tight end to have right now. Most consistent, least injured.
I think he's had better games than...
I think he might...
Than Kelsey.
I mean, he's probably right up there for the most...
wasn't Kelsey shut down like the first game? Like...
Yeah,
Ertz,
that's...
But then Ertz has had constantly over 11,
very
12
a lot of targets, yeah.
Yeah, so...
I really think what happened, and Mario mentioned this on the way here, I think your nephew, who you traded with, he got the inside info that Zeke's going to get suspended for 6 games.
That's what I probably thought too. But then I was like, you know what? I'm already 1-4. I'm already going to risk it.
You got to go for it.
Yeah, I got to go for it. So
I do. I thought it was a good trade.
And I thought about it, and I was like, wait. Well, maybe I should just hold off on this until next week. But then I'm like, but what if he finds out that he's good? You know what I mean?
That's true.
And then he won't.
Go for sure.
It's a hit or miss for me. I'm willing to take that risk. I've already taken a risk being 1-4. But anyway, a streaming defense that I got because I like to stream defenses weekly. That's my thing. Tennessee versus Indiana. Either one of these two teams, you could pick their defense but like me and Matt discussed a couple 2 or 3 weeks ago, I forgot who else was playing against each other. I think it was it was Cleveland and New York, the Jets. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah, it was last week. Yeah,
it's like,
they just could knock each other out. So I mean, you could take either one of those, and no one's going to have their defenses because you just don't have either one of these defenses. And a little fun fact: Tennessee has given up 20 points to the last 2 defenses they've faced.
Oh,
And so that, I mean, to me, that they're on a fucking slip, man.
If Mariota's not 100%, or definitely if he doesn't play,
even if it's a game time decision, that means he's not 100%. So I'm picking Indiana. Like I think I'm gonna stream them for the week. I know it's a risk, but I mean, they can have a pretty big game. I mean, they haven't done terrible. I mean, their defenses they've gotten 12, 14 points, right? Am I right?
yeah.
So yeah, I pick either one of those two teams, but probably Indiana over Tennessee, and then I would pick Atlanta versus Miami.
I saw the game written down. I didn't know which side you were going to go with, so I was hoping you were going to go with Miami.
No.
Actually, that's why I already picked up for the week.
The way I was doing it, I'm sorry, I should probably do it. The first team that I put in there is what I'm going for.
Oh, okay.
I should probably indicate that. But yeah, I would go for Atlanta's defense versus Miami, who Miami scores an average of 6 points in his last 5. Jay Cutler throws a staggering 92 yards a season. I mean, for the season average.
No way.
You remember when that guy was good?
Kaepernick would have been better than him.
No way. Yeah, sit that guy down.
You remember when Jay Cutler was good?
No.
I remember one Monday night he had like 5 touchdowns or 6 touchdowns.
No, he didn't.
He did. He won me a fantasy game. One I still remember. I was waiting
Where
in
did
line.
he used to play before the
I was waiting in line for Madden
Denver.
when he was doing this.
Denver.
He played Denver.
Yeah.
That's right.
Wow, I hate that guy. There was a
Halo. I was waiting in line for Halo.
Yeah, which one?
3, I think.
You know, I was living in Charlotte when that came on.
Beyonce CD.
Yeah.
Oh, the Halo, the Beyonce CD?
No, that one too. That was different.
I played him twice.
That was different. That was a different game though. Colors always come through.
He threw 6 interceptions on that day.
Yeah, there's some sort of big Halo event going on. At any point, pick up Jay Cutler. He's throwing 6 touchdowns.
All right, man. So what do we want to move on to?
Yeah, let's do the who versus who.
You want to do who versus who? Yeah. Last week was pretty good. Or who versus who? I know I picked just a random the game. Who would go 0-5? The Chargers. Both y'all picked the Chargers to win over Giants. I picked the Giants, and you guys obviously are the smarter individuals.
Of course.
Hey, it was looking pretty close though, man.
Hunter Henry scored that touchdown. I said.
You said go off. I don't know. Scoring 1 touchdown goes off.
They threw to him 3 times in the red zone. It's not.
So that means
it's not his fault that Philip Rivers throws like a bitch.
He played on 72%
why
of
does he
snaps.
throw like that? Like the ball's
That's what I'm
hot.
saying. He throws like a bitch.
The ball's heavy.
He played on
and hot.
72% of snaps. He's definitely trending in the right direction.
Yeah, that's right.
Hunter Henry's going to finish as a top.
I'll count that as
8.
He's coming.
quote unquote going off. I'll count that as a going off.
Hey, when he get, I mean, remember 2 games ago he didn't have a catch.
That's true.
He didn't have a target.
Not even a target.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I wanted to do this to the who versus who. I wanted to do the 2 teams that are going against each other, a specific position, and then try to get their prices.
Their DraftKings prices.
Their DraftKings prices.
Okay.
And then, Matt, you would tell us who would you rather go with as far as like your fantasy.
Got it.
You know, as far as like your season-long fantasy. Mario's going to do just this weekly. Matt's doing the week season-long. The first game on Thursday, Carson Wentz. He's a fiery motherfucker. He's a badass. Coming off 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, right?
Yep.
Man. And then he just slacked off for the rest of the game. That's fucking cool. So Wentz at Cam. Who are we going with?
Wentz is 6,600 and Cam is 6,700.
Oh man, so they're
Good
like
job there.
Yeah,
That's
so
impressive.
I did pretty well. So who do you think is going to have the better points? Who would you go with as far as points? Have you seen? You know what? I know Cam just had that surgery, shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
But man, like he's launching that shit. Like he looks completely different from week 2.
Yeah, he's
feeling-
slinging it now. He's not
Yeah.
even caring. Yeah.
I think he was trying
Agreed.
to. Maybe he was trying to gain back some. Maybe a new
Mojo.
apparel line
Yeah,
or
he
something because he was making fun of girls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe he was gonna try to do like a
I
Target
think he's
ad or
just a lot
something.
healthier. Like we talked about a couple weeks ago or last week or whatever. It's just kind of he's just healthier. You know, he's just getting through it.
Yeah, he looks good, and I'm so glad someone in our league just dropped him after 2 games of going 8 fantasy points. I just
But I'm
picked
gonna
him up for the eating.
I'm gonna go Wentz though. I
Wentz.
think I'm gonna go Wentz. I think Ertz.
That hot streak, he's gonna
Yeah,
continue it.
I don't think they can really contain Ertz, so it's gonna be hard for
No
them
one
to
can
guess them.
so
Yeah.
far.
He's been pretty good, man. So I'm gonna go Wentz over Cam in this week, and it's you Matt's right. You picked it good. They're right there in price and right there as far as possible points. But I'm gonna go Wentz over Cam.
I would like to look at stats at how the home team does on Thursday nights because I feel like that makes a difference. Not having to travel on a short week, getting to play at home.
So wouldn't you automatically think that the home team should?
Have a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, it also depends on what they did the week before. Like, are they on the road?
Do the visiting team? Do they even go home after their last
they
game?
probably do, and then the very next day they probably go home or if they're at home already, they probably leave a day earlier than they normally would. I'm not a big fan of Thursday night games for fantasy purposes. Even though that first game of the season, the Patriots and the Chiefs went off.
So home quarterbacks on Thursday night are a negative 1.15 on average fantasy points.
For what their projection stats are.
Right.
What about the visitor? Or what about the
The road team are negative 0.2 points.
It's almost the same thing.
Yeah,
They just perform a little bit. So they're just not quite as high scoring as
the games are lower scoring.
The lower.
Usually the home team.
But hasn't the-
I don't know that either one of them. If you have either one of these in your year long, if you have them both, I almost feel like you're going to be flipping a coin on this one. I would start Newton. I just feel like Wentz has not had a bad game yet, and I feel like it has to happen. And so on the road
And
on
Cam
a
already
Thursday
got all
night,
this shit out of the way.
Yeah, and I think Cam is definitely trending in the right direction. Also, I think it depends on if Cam's going to keep running or not. If he keeps running, he's just so much better.
Yeah, man, he looks like a stud, like a complete 180 from weeks 1 through 3.
No, he was bad. He was bad.
Like that was terrible. But I guess it's kind of expected coming off a throwing arm surgery. So right?
Yeah.
So that's expected, right? And is that what we can expect for Andrew Luck if he ever plays?
I'm telling you that.
He's not going to play. He's just not. They're going to be like, oh, he might play next week. Nope, the next week.
Just so people can keep going,
Pretty much. So
or people can keep tuning in. That's why they just bring in.
although Brissett's doing good, man.
He is doing
I
pretty
like
well.
him.
Or they have to come up with something else, like because they just did the Ring of Honor, just to prolong.
yeah, to
so
get
they're gonna have to
fans
come up
in,
with
yeah.
something else, like a pizza night or something, or free signed jerseys from Frank Gore or something like that. Something to keep the fans coming
I'll
back.
bring in about 10 people.
Yep, there you go. All right, the next game. I like this game just because it's kind of this little matchup right here. Plus, I don't know who's going to win. Actually, I think I know who's going to win. Winston at Palmer. I was going to say at Carson, but we have 2 Carson quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Oh, Wentz. I was like, who's the other one?
Yeah.
So
we just talked about.
We just talked about it.
for season long, I think Tampa Bay is going to win this game. I just don't think Arizona's very good. I don't think their offense is very good. But I think Tampa
But
Bay
they
is
just got AP. I don't know.
But I think Tampa Bay is gonna take a lead and be up most of the game. So I think Arizona is going to be having to come from behind or try to come from behind. So I think Palmer's going to have to throw the ball a whole lot more than Winston's going to need to.
55 times.
Yeah, that type of thing. And I think when Tampa Bay's up, they're going to be able to go with Rodgers and
Have you ever
and
looked
Martin.
at Carson Palmer's picture on Fantasy? He looks like he's a drunk wreck. Like he just got pulled over for a DUI.
It was probably
Dirty
did they
fish,
take
right?
that picture when he was in Oakland?
No, it has his Cardinals jersey on. He looks like complete shit. Like he looks like a wild thing. You know, like coming out of prison.
He might have, you know, right? But yeah, I'm gonna take for fantasy purposes for the week for the season year long. I would take Palmer this week.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see. Palmer is 6,100 on DraftKings, and Winston is 6,200.
Man, look at that. I'm right.
Once again, they're neck and neck. I think Matt's got it pretty spot on there that Tampa probably wins the game, and they're going to be up. So I think Palmer will be throwing. And Tampa's pass defense is kind of suspect. So I think Carson Palmer can get something going there, especially with Fitzgerald. But I do think Mike Evans will have a good game this week.
You think so?
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry, not Mike Evans, Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, if you're playing DraftKings, I mean, in season long, you pretty much you have to play him, I guess.
Yeah.
But in DraftKings, I would highly suggest avoiding Mike Evans. The guy's a beast, but Patrick Peterson is too, and he's going to be on him all game. And
So then you would.
so good.
How much is Deshaun Jackson? Do you have that?
yeah, I can pull that up real quick. But yeah, that's it's just a matchup you want to avoid.
It's weird. There's really like 5 or 6 corners that are just complete. You just avoid.
Shut down guys.
Yeah, Deshaun Jackson's 5,800 and Mike Evans is 6,900. But Mike Evans' price is way down. I mean, usually he's like 8,000 or something, so that's like a huge discount. But I mean,
But
That's
for
one of
this
the
game, though,
DraftKings does that. Yeah, they're
they
going
on
to price
purpose,
it based on their.
I like that. You can't just go and just
right?
the right prices are going to be like,
Yeah,
you know, what I mean, they're going to be high
they do
all the
that
time.
so that way it some people are still going to say, well, hey, he still has the upside of being Mike Evans. And
Yeah.
you never know. Is he going to go up and
And what if Patrick
burn
Peterson
one?
gets hurt?
Patrick Peterson gets hurt, or even at some point they run a zone and, Patrick Peterson's not covering
and then
him?
Honey Badger is going to have to take over the whole field by
Honey
himself.
Badger him.
He's not going to be able to do it.
You don't have a chance.
Okay. I'm going to go Winston.
Yeah,
But it's just,
The cigarettes?
yeah. You know, I used to be a big time smoker
Yeah.
for like 4 months. Hardcore.
Nice.
Hardcore 4 months. Okay, these two guys, I don't even remember them playing against each other. Stafford at Breeze.
So last year,
Did they play against each other last year?
oh, they did. They played against each other last year, and
A crazy game, right?
it was in New Orleans, and so everybody and their mother was on this game. And I mean, I don't remember the score. I think it was like 17-14 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like everyone thought it was going to be. Yeah, exactly. You see that, and you think, you know, high scoring game. That's not what happened. So
So do you predict the same thing?
I think both defenses are better this year.
Yeah, we talked about that before. Like New
Yeah.
Orleans defense isn't as bad as
Yeah, let's see.
people
Drew
think.
Brees is 7,200 and Stafford is 6,500 this week.
Oh, that's my only lopsided one.
Well, I mean, it's just because Drew Brees is Drew Brees, but I guess if I had to pick one, I'm gonna go Drew Brees just because he's at home. And it was
And he throws a shit ton.
It was in New Orleans last year, and the final score was 28-13.
What are their prices?
7,200 for Breeze
Yeah,
and 6,500 for Stafford.
You did get a
62.
you did
60,
get-
I'm sorry, you're right. 65.
65.
You get a little discount for Stafford, but probably not enough to make up the
Well,
difference.
don't you think they're going to probably run the ball and feel better about running the ball now that we don't have to fucking hear some old guy yakking in people's ears about not getting the fucking ball?
Yeah,
Right.
I just think Kamara gets the ball.
Kamara's
Or two.
a badass.
So I'm going with Breeze pretty confidently, and one of the things that I base a lot on, and it might not statistically hold, but I've just always done it, is people coming off of bye weeks.
Yeah,
I
right.
love people coming off bye weeks, and they're off a bye week at home. I just feel like they've been preparing for 2 weeks for this game, and Stafford's banged up. I mean, I think he's questionable right now to play. I mean, he'll end up playing, but he's not. You know what I mean?
But he's best friends with Clayton Kershaw. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that before.
Oh, so they both suck in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's too bad for
No,
them.
I'm just funny because every time fucking Stafford plays, they always bring up.
They always say Detroit. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like Jordan
yeah.
Bettis is from Detroit.
Yeah. It's so stupid.
So I got Breeze.
Yeah, I got Breeze too. I think that was the only kind of clean sweep. But I just like the matchup just because it looks
Yeah.
like.
Well, and the Lions are good.
should be.
Yeah, and it should.
It's
Like,
gonna
and it
be-
looks like a
high
shootout.
scoring, like I said.
Maybe I'm falling for it.
I'm
like it
hoping
happened
for a
last year.
high-scoring close game, but it could end up being like
No,
A
don't get me
blowout?
wrong.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
I will definitely have some Drew Brees, and I will definitely have some Kamara on this week on DraftKings because
How much is Kamara? Do you have a little bonus?
4,500.
Oh shit!
And Mark Ingram's only 4,400. I think that whole splitting with Adrian Peterson drove the price down, but now there's only 2 of them.
That's crazy.
So,
which one is it going to be?
Yeah, which one? I mean,
I like Kamara just because it's a PPR.
It comes down to if they're losing, it's Kamara. If they're winning, it's Ingram.
Yeah.
So you got to figure it out there. And the same thing actually on the other side. I mean, Abdullah's 4,900 and Riddick's 4,300, and it's like if they're winning, Abdullah gets carries, and if they're losing, then Riddick gets catches. So it's like,
you know who you should never ever play? Eric Ebron.
Isn't he just as bad as Amari Cooper?
Yeah, not worse because he's not athletic. Or he is athletic, but
wasn't he like
just
a
looks
basketball player or something? Or is
he drops anytime. It's like, oh man, that's a touchdown. He drops.
Is he one of those guys that every time he throw the ball, he has to jump? Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like there's
that was me actually. I was just randomly
just because it looks cooler.
Yeah, it would be on the ground and I catch it and jump in the air. That's how I played.
That's funny. All right. Oh man, these right here, these next 4 matchups right here, these who versus who's.
Yeah.
Man, I nearly nut myself.
Yeah.
That's gross, man.
No, it's not actually, because you guys are going to benefit from it, and tell me which is better for the price and for.
I don't think I've ever been from you nutting.
No. Well, we'll see. We'll see. It's still early.
That's good to know, man.
You haven't heard what I was going to say yet.
Oh.
Le'Veon Bell at Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, so let's see.
Le'Veon Bell, we already talked about that. $9,600. $9,600 is what Le'Veon's going
$9,600.
for. The most expensive.
Kareem Hunt's $8,200. So that was a steep discount there. I don't know, man. Kansas City, number 1 in the league against running backs who catch the ball. So that you would think Le'Veon Bell would be kind of hampered by that, but he's Le'Veon Bell, and so I'm not going to give too much.
Maybe he's gonna. Maybe he might turn up this week because of that whole getting the ball 15 times last week.
And they're on the road, and Ben Roethlisberger just threw like 72 interceptions. I think he threw another one just now. Right
where we were talking.
Yeah,
but he's the best quarterback. One of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play.
So ever. If it's me, I mean,
he reminds me of like the Elvis, like the late fat Elvis.
I don't know what they're going to do, but I would guess that they would come out and they'd start off with some safe passes, some shorter passes, and running the ball to try and kind of establish their dominance.
Maybe bring up his confidence a little bit,
right?
Or do you think he's like too old already? Like Ben Roethlisberger doesn't need that kind of.
I mean, I think you think that, but after you throw 5 picks and you say in the locker room, maybe I don't have it anymore. I think. It's kind of a sign, like maybe we should.
Doesn't Eli Manning do that? Like these past 3 seasons?
No, man. Eli Manning just is.
He's a mouth breather. Is what
exactly. Yeah. But yeah. So I mean, it's straight up points. I would go Le'Veon, and I would play Le'Veon Bell in tournaments. But I would lean Kareem Hunt in cash. I mean, I know it's kind of. I'm picking both sides of the coin there, but.
No, I think that's good because that's a little bit of advice.
If you're building your lineup and you want to get a consistent floor, I think Kareem Hunt's a pretty good way to go. Pittsburgh just gave up 180 yards to Fournette, and Kansas City's at home, and I think Travis Kelce's going to have a good game. So I think Kareem Hunt will be there to kind of run the clock out.
Because he has the most rushing yards in like the second half, or what was that? There was some weird stat that he had. Like he has 250.
Hunt does?
Yeah, in 250 yards rushing in the second half. Just in the second half alone.
Yeah.
Which is fucking
straight
crazy.
Points, I go Le'Veon. But if I'm building a cash lineup, I take Hunt, and I take that $1,600 savings or $1,400 savings and spend it somewhere else.
So it's crazy because these are probably
Peterson.
2 overall best running backs in year-long fantasy. To have. They probably aren't statistically because Le'Veon Bell hasn't done great yet. But it's weird because I bet there's quite a few standard teams that have both these guys.
Yeah.
You would have to because
Hunt was going in that end of the second, start of the third.
I think I got Hunt in the 3rd round.
And so it was it's very easy that somebody could have Le'Veon Bell and
I didn't get the number 1 pick, otherwise I would have them both.
Yeah. So anyways,
but you would have for your first pick, if you're the first pick in the first round, you would have taken Le'Veon Bell instead of David Johnson.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're that 0.11. That's why it's 1.2.
Just Mario.
Yeah, that's me.
Just Mario.
It's in Mario in all 3 of his leagues.
Yeah, it would have been me.
I don't want to try to get cute. I mean, if you have only one spot for some reason for for these two guys, you got to play Le'Veon Bell. He's Le'Veon Bell, man. Like, Hunt always has that he's shown he has a potential for those crazy breakout games. But Le'Veon Bell hasn't had one of those yet, and he's still Le'Veon. I feel like at some point in the very near future, he's going to have 2 touchdowns on 180 yards rushing or 180 yard.
Oh, like he did in that snow game?
Yeah. So
that was so awesome.
I just can't go away from Le'Veon.
Yeah, I might mess you all up, but I'm going to go Le'Veon as well. Just because that whole
know Kareem Hunt's a good pick.
Exactly. Yeah. So whoever's out there, get Kareem Hunt in tournaments and in
everything. Le'Veon Bell will play 4 snaps.
Exactly. Oh man, that would suck.
Yeah, it would.
And he's been known to do that. Don't jinx him, Matt. Don't jinx him.
I don't have him in any league, so I would love to jinx.
Fuck that guy.
Jinx the shit out of him. Never had that high of a pick.
But yeah, I Le'Veon for sure. Just because of that whole, maybe he threw a temper tantrum in a classier way and did it behind closed doors rather than on the sideline when everybody's watching. All right, next one. I love this matchup. It's fucking amazing. Gurley at Fournette.
I'm very interested in the prices on these, Mario.
Let's see. We got Fournette at 8,000 and Gurley's 7,700.
Wow.
So Fournette has been way better than I expected him to be. I think of mainly just the Jags have been way better than I expected them to be
because they have a solid defense.
Their defense is good, but I'm still gonna go with the stats just a little bit, and the statistics say that they're not that good against the run. They're not supposed to be that good against. And last week, it's like, oh, they are good against the run because they held Le'Veon Bell. Well, no, I think Pittsburgh held Le'Veon Bell, but only getting him the ball 15 times.
They did it themselves.
So I'm actually going to go with Gurley, and I'm a little bit biased because I have Gurley, but I want Gurley. My whole thing is everybody kept saying trade Gurley because he has this really brutal schedule ahead. Well, my thought was at some point Gurley was going to become matchup proof, where just like Le'Veon Bell, just like those types of players where you play them no matter who you're playing against, and that's where I was kind of hoping Gurley gets to. So,
but he kind of slumped
this past week. He didn't have a good game. But again, he didn't get very many carries.
He didn't get the ball, yeah. I think he got...
So do you think with having a rookie coach and then... And essentially a rookie
that's exactly
quarterback.
What Mario said.
A rookie quarterback, and they just get like, oh shit, like frantic. And
Tavon Austin in rounds.
And know that you're playing the Seahawks who have run the conference, their division for so long. That they shit their own self, their own pants.
Todd Gurley had 14 carries and Tavon Austin had 6.
That's ridiculous.
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, that's frustrating.
Maybe one to do like a trick play. You know what I mean?
It worked, and then I guess he's like, let's do it 5 more times.
They'll never see it coming.
Let's keep going.
I know we're having to move around.
The double...
you know which one I really like? Is what the KC runs. When
they finally give it to that guy?
Then Travis Kelce runs right up the middle. I love that play.
Did you see their crazy ass little 2-point conversion thing?
No.
I saw the Bears win.
That was the Bears. Trubisky.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
And Zach Miller.
That was awesome.
What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you guys last week that Zach Miller was in the? I said go.
Did you see his touchdown?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He fucking scored.
Oh yeah, that's all Zach. That's all Zach Miller standing there just waiting for the ball to come in.
It's just like Hunter Henry. He went off with 1 touchdown. Same thing. Zach Miller went off 1 touchdown.
Trubisky looked like a legit
he looks good.
I like him.
I'm not going to pick him, but
no, hell no.
But he looks good for the
Bears
for the future.
Yeah,
maybe in like 2 or 3 years.
If they actually build around these guys now,
dude, he's got an arm
and he's athletic, man. I could not believe he's athletic.
That is like he threw it hard. It was very impressive. Anyway, so Matt, you're going with Gurley, Mario.
I'm going to do the same. I'm going to go with Gurley. I got to lean on the numbers. Jags, actually, they fell to number 32 in the league against the run. They're not the worst anymore. They're second worst now. But I still, I'm going to take the Rams because the Rams, Todd Gurley, he had a monster game against the Dallas Cowboys, 2 games ago? Because the Cowboys are now the worst team in the league against the run. So,
yeah, and they're 6. What do you call that? 6th best to go against for wide receivers. Yeah. I guess. How am I trying to say?
They're just bad at defense.
Yeah, they're just terrible.
But yeah, I'm going to go with Gurley. I think he rebounds and has a really big game. I think they give him the ball over 20 to 25 times. So give me Gurley. I think Fournette will be a little higher owned than he should be. He had a monster game. He had 181 yards, but remember his last carry was 91 yards. So he had 27 carries for 90 yards before that last carry, which is a good game, but it's not monster. I take down tournament games.
But that's almost 100 yards rushing, right?
Yeah, but almost in 30 carries.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he went from 27 carries and 90 yards to 28 carries and 81 yards or 180 yards or whatever.
He doubled his running
out
1 yard.
Yeah,
one carry.
Yeah, plus he gets a bonus for going over 100 yards. I mean, don't get me wrong, the guy's good. He's not. It's not that he's not good because Pittsburgh's run defense is stout. But he went from a good game to an outstanding game in 1 carry, and it was at the end of the game.
No, I'm going to make y'all feel better. I'm going to go Fournette.
Thank you, sir.
So
much.
you guys are welcome. You guys feel way more confident.
Yes, I'm very happy with that.
All right, this one I didn't think it's kind of lopsided, but then I'm like, you know what? It might not be because Ty Hill is a fucking freak. So I'm going this who versus who is Antonio Brown at Tyreek Hill.
And this is
a huge difference
this
in
is
price.
a good one for daily fantasy.
This is why DraftKings is what it is. It's because you see Antonio Brown and you see Tyreek Hill and you're like, oh, Antonio Brown, no problem. Except Tyreek Hill has potential to go 9 catches for 50 yards, a touchdown, and then a punt return touchdown, and then another run for 80 yards. You know what I mean? Like he can do it in a whole bunch of different ways. You can't predict it. But at 6,400, I can play him.
Hell yeah!
Not play Antonio Brown and then hope.
And what's Antonio Brown?
Oh, Antonio Brown is 9,300 and
6,400.
And 6,400.
Wow,
yeah.
that's half a player.
Exactly.
That's half of another player.
And that's the thing is Tyreek Hill can conceivably get as many points as Antonio Brown.
Oh yeah.
It wouldn't shock you to see him have a huge game, because he's Tyreek Hill. I mean,
and they're playing at KC.
Yeah, even like last week, he had 16.8 DraftKings points, and he only had 68 receiving yards, but he had that punt return touchdown, which counts as 6 points. Brought up a score.
That's right. That's what I was telling Matt. It was like one of the last plays of the fucking game.
Yeah,
and that's just ridiculous. How they don't get him the ball more. It just blows my mind.
So I'm going to pick Tyreek Hill this week over Antonio Brown straight up. I think he scores more points than Antonio Brown this week.
So with the last one, I was the other one with Le'Veon and Kareem Hunt. I was like, you don't get cute, but I'm actually going to go with Ty Hill too, just in year long for this game. I'm not a fan of number 1 receivers going against Kansas City. It's not the greatest matchup, even though it is Antonio Brown. So Antonio Brown can go for 2 touchdowns and 150 yards on anybody. But I also think Tyreek Hill can go for 150 yards against Pittsburgh's defense, and I think he's going to. I think he's going to have a big game. I don't think they've targeted him a whole lot lately, and I think they're going to go back to it. So I think that I'm picking Ty Hill. Also, I think the fact that we just picked Le'Veon, it's kind of like for Le'Veon and Antonio Brown, it's like I feel like Le'Veon
happens a lot more than you think, but
yeah,
you're right, yeah.
So I think Le'Veon's gonna do the running part of it, but then I think Ty Hill's gonna do better on the receiving end.
I'm just excited for that game. That's gonna be a good game. Yeah, hopefully. So we all it's unanimous on that one. That's awesome. All right, and this last one, we don't have to do the prices for them unless you want to. But I just thought it was a pretty damn good matchup. On both ends. We got Devontae Adams and Jordy Nelson at Diggs and Thielen. So
I'd like to thank Thielen for getting 7 points this week.
No,
man,
screw that. I needed him to get at least 14.
No, I needed 10.
He needed 10 to be.
I needed
14.
I just needed 10 points.
After Watson's 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter that didn't count.
That didn't even matter. His garbage time touchdowns.
He should have needed -4.
Exactly. Oh man, I just saw this thing go off, and I was like, "Oh, cool, Will Fuller," and I was like, "Oh shit." I forgot I had Will Fuller on another league, and then Deshaun Watson. I'm playing against him in 2 leagues. It screwed me.
I'm so glad because with your nephew's team, you got Will Fuller, who he always picks stupid Texans way too early because he loves them.
He's just a Texans fan.
And then
it's weird.
Fuller's actually been good.
Yeah.
But then OBJ got hurt.
Yeah. That was his guy. OBJ was his number 1 wide receiver. He got hurt, and then now he's trading away Zeke. And Hurts.
He's going to trade away Brady, too, just to start fresh.
Yeah. You know what? I was looking on the prices, and Janine Garofalo, not Julian Garofalo, but you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. He's on there for like $5,500.
Because if for those reasons that Brady sat out, well, and he also has a hurt non-throwing
Their
shoulder,
left shoulder.
So if he were to sit out, and
So how do you do
announce
that?
on a Saturday and they sits out, every single person in daily fantasy would play him if he's at
Oh yeah.
$3,000 whatever, you know. So they have to. That's like in it was really funny.
It's like
I noticed
money.
this in basketball.
It's free
doing,
money.
doing daily fantasy for the NBA. Even when Wes Westbrook's out for a game, they still have him priced at whatever, just $12,000 because it's like by chance if they're like, oh, never mind, he is playing tonight, he would be 100% owned, and it just completely screws up the whole slate. So
Right.
I want to play.
And they had this problem last year. Actually, running backs were consistently backup running backs were always like 3,200, 3,000. And so anytime a running back was ruled out during the week, whoever the backup running back
Did the prices change?
They do this year. No, once they're locked in, they're locked in.
Oh, okay.
So, like Sunday night, or when the contests come out, like last week, the Chiefs, Spencer Ware, was Jamal Charles got hurt last year?
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Charles got hurt on a Sunday. Prices were already locked. Spencer Ware was like 3,400, and you knew he was going to get 20 carries on a Chiefs team that runs the ball all the time. I mean, he was like 45% owned. Like,
Oh man,
you know what I mean? Like, how do you not play that guy if you know he's going to get all these carries? So it's just one of those things. But they do a lot better job this year. Where running backs
they
like
can't.
5,000.
Yeah, you wouldn't. That wouldn't make sense if they
had them all at the minimum, or if they changed prices later on,
because then wouldn't that jack up everybody's?
you already had lineups built out. Yeah, they can't do that.
They can't do that.
I actually was one of the guys that I follow on Twitter. He's not one that I think is as good as the others, but anyways, he was talking about how I don't know if he always does this, but when he does the primetime slate, which is just the Monday night game, he builds, they do like 50 lineups or whatever ridiculous, or 150 lineups for those big tournaments, but he always puts a handful of lineups with the backup quarterback. Like he'll pick one of the backup quarterbacks, and he'll play him and build the whole lineup. So just by chance, if early in the game the starter gets hurt and the backup goes off, it's like he pretty much,
Oh really?
yeah. And he last year, whatever it was 2 years ago with RG3 and Kirk Cousins, it happened where he played Kirk Cousins just by chance, and there was a game where RG3 got hurt.
So you could have done that with Case Keenum. That'd have been
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why the people were tweeting him like, "Oh, I'm sure you had your Case Keenum lineups right," and he's like, "Oh man, I did it one time with the." But
Hey, but that's smart.
I mean, most weeks you're throwing your money away, but
Basically. But yeah, so who would you go for, Devontae and Jordy versus Diggs and Thielen?
I'm going with
Packers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's
Pretty much what I'm going with. You see him, I don't get to see him play all the time, because obviously the Cowboys are always on TV here, Texans are on TV here, so you don't get to see him play often. But when you actually get to watch him play, it's amazing.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, like I said, I don't like the guy at all just because he's always putting daggers in my heart versus the Cowboys, and then plus he took Brett Favre's spot, which puts another dagger in my heart. But I mean, that guy's amazing, man.
Yeah.
I can't.
I mean, he's better than Brett Favre. So.
Yeah, shut up. No, maybe statistically probably, but Brett Favre still kind of built that
All
place.
right,
But anyway,
pick 'em time.
all right, pick him. You want Mario? You're no longer a guest. You're kind of just a returning. So
Yeah.
we'll just. I already have it written down here. Mario, Matt, Alex. So we'll just
I'll go this way.
and then
I'll go first.
snake it.
I'll go first.
All right, first game.
First game is Philly at Carolina. And I'm going to go Philly and 3 points.
Philly 3 points.
Jesus Christ.
And that's right.
Is that what you did?
Nope.
Oh, you went with the same as me.
I went, yeah. So I have Carolina
I
at
like how
home.
no one wants to choose the same thing as me.
I have Carolina at home with 2 points.
Carolina at home, 2 points. That's the same thing.
That's
as me,
again.
man.
It was. We talked about it earlier. Winston and Cam. I just feel like Cam's gonna.
Yeah,
keep it
I
going.
like.
Yeah, I picked the win side of that quarterback matchup,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think Ertz goes off.
Yeah, I mean,
I would like that too.
It's only,
I would like that too.
3 point spread.
Just because my trade goes through by this week, before this game?
Of course it does.
Oh wait, it would, right? Would I get it by Thursday? I should. I should
The
have it by
commissioner?
Thursday. Yeah.
Push it through, man.
Tonight.
Right now, like no one's saying.
Did anybody let her know?
No, I can't. Can I see it? Would I be
I
able
would
to?
think you'd be able to see somewhere.
But I got a text saying, "Why didn't you just trade your entire teams? Just switch teams." I was like, "Oh, okay. It was 3 players, idiots." Like, I don't know. Anyway, it's pretty annoying. But
they like hate people trading. I don't get it.
they do, and then they don't like waiver wires, and they don't
I
like.
know.
It's just so, then don't
That was
play.
a fun way to-
They'll just then don't play. That'd be great.
All right, second game we got. Oh wait, you pick,
Yeah.
man.
I'm going Carolina 2 points.
Yes, sir.
Just because I like what Cam's doing. I'm starting Cam this week. I'm pretty much starting him in my league all the time now. After seeing that first game wasn't a fluke because it was going against shitty Patriots defense. Now he looks like he's throwing hardcore, like slinging it like he was before, very easily. So I like him at home against Philly. I think, but Philly's a damn good team. I don't think this is gonna be a blowout. I think it, like Mario said, 3 points. It would be.
I actually hope it's one of those real high scoring games. I don't really have a lot. I don't have the only fantasy I have on either of these teams is Ertz in one of my leagues, but I really hope it's high scoring.
I hope so too, just because it looks good, and because like I said, I have Cam Newton and Ertz. I'll have by Thursday, so it's pretty exciting. All right, moving on. Next game.
All right, I got game number 2. We have Cleveland at Houston. Again, we always choose Cleveland, or we always do the Houston game.
That's right.
And
And,
at home.
and Cowboys are off this week by week 6.
Oh, that's right.
Did you notice that?
Yeah,
I did.
that's true.
Anyway,
Houston's
go
at
ahead.
home.
One L I didn't have to take.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson looks like legit. I don't think he's going to go for 3 straight games with 5 touchdowns. But if he were, it would be against the Cleveland
Dude,
Browns.
they've given up like a pretty hefty amount of points.
But I always hate. I mean, Houston's not going to have J.J. Watt. Houston's not going to have Merciless. No, not Merciless. What's the dude's name? The linebacker. Is it Merciless?
I think so.
Anyways, so they lost 2 of their best defensive players. And Cleveland's going to start that other dude, Hogan, or something like that. What is it?
Charles
Is it Hogan,
Hogan?
right?
Kevin Hogan.
I'm like,
Oh,
that.
Kevin
They
Hogan?
traded the receiver to him? That's weird.
That is right.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck's backup at Stanford.
See, so, like, I don't like not knowing what's going to be happening with the quarterback. You know, like, this guy might come out and be a decent quarterback, but I just can't go against Houston at home. So I'm going with Houston in 4.
Son of a bitch. Don't be looking at my stuff.
I've mine are written down, too.
Oh, I don't know. I've seen you scratch some stuff out before.
I scratched something out because Mario's talking shit. So.
There you go. All right, Mario. What do you got? Cleveland out of Houston. And how many confidence points?
So
How confident are you in Duke Johnson?
it's a 10-point spread. I think it's going to be closer, and Duke Johnson is a huge play for me this week, I think. I mean, I'm not done with all the research yet, but I think Duke Johnson will be a pretty integral part of my teams. Kevin Hogan's not bad.
I'm going to play him again, Duke Johnson.
Yeah, Kevin Hogan's he's not good, but he's not as bad as Deshaun Kaiser. But Houston, 4 points for me.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Is Colin Kaepernick better than him?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, he's better.
Every quarterback we mentioned. Is
15.
Colin Kaepernick better?
I know. Like 10 to 15 of these quarterbacks that are playing.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but Houston plus 4 up for 4 points. I think. I think I saw that Cleveland is last in the league against the number 1 wide receivers. So
You know what else?
And they have like 2 of them.
Lamar
all the
Miller.
Hopkins- all
Lamar
the
Miller
Hopkins.
has really earned his place as a starting running back for that team the last few weeks.
I hate Lamar Miller. I hope Deontay Foreman has 100 yards this week.
Just so they can keep it
Just
up.
because I hate Lamar Miller. But give me Houston for 4.
I'm going to side with you boys here. I'm going Houston 4 also. Just everything you mentioned. And I like that Fuller kid. Man, he's a
He's
fast.
beast, man.
He's fast.
Like it's ridiculous. Like who do you? Because DeAndre Hopkins, he's not that as fast, right? But I mean, he's a tall dude.
Yeah, he's
So I mean, it's like a pick your poison
Fuller's
kind
faster.
of.
and
It's
Ryan Griffin's become a pretty decent
Tight
threat
end.
as well. At tight end.
yeah.
yeah.
And the
Yeah,
Browns are very bad against tight ends.
So if that's another streaming pick right there,
Yep.
the tight end for Houston, because Cleveland is like ranked 32 against them or something like that.
And them losing Fedorowicz really that could have even helped Watson be
Even
more consistent throughout the season. Fedorowicz was a real good fantasy tight end.
All right, Pittsburgh at KC. I'm going to go with this one first. I'm liking KC at home. Ben Roethlisberger sucks. Actually, he doesn't suck. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks that ever played this game. So I don't think he's completely sucks. But I think it'll be one of those low scoring games that everybody's gonna be pissed off about. It's gonna be like 9-6 or some bullshit like that.
That'd be the best.
It's gonna be 9-6. It's gonna be it's a field goal. Boswell's gonna go off and then for 3 field goals, and then what's that new kid on the block from?
Oh no, yeah, it's not Santos because
it's not Carlos. He's on IR, placed on IR or whatever. I think they're just.
That's on your boy, Young-Soo Koo.
You know, we should put that on Who versus Who is the.
That's who I thought. I thought the Buccaneers should have picked up Koo.
Yeah, they already.
They picked up some other dude I never heard of.
Yeah, Nick Folk. Come on.
That's the best.
But the Who versus Who we should instead of the Devontae and Jordy package, we should have done Boswell versus
way
kicker versus kicker.
Way more entertaining.
But just like this game's
That's
gonna
why
be,
people are listening to this.
I'm thinking this game's gonna be boring as shit. But I'm gonna give KC 3 points.
Jesus Christ, Alex!
What?
I have KC 3 points.
All right,
Whoa.
Mario.
KC, 1 point.
1 point.
1 point. I think Pittsburgh. I'm telling you, I think they run the ball a lot with Le'Veon. They give some safe routes to Antonio, who's really good at catch and run. And I think they catch Martavis deep one time. So, I mean, I think Kansas City wins the game because Kelsey's really good, but I think Pittsburgh keeps it closer than people think. I mean, it's only a 4 point spread. But
So no 9-6?
No, I see it more like
49-46.
no, like 24, 27, somewhere around there. I think it's going to be pretty high scoring.
I think this is one of those boring AFC games that like they're all like hardcore defenses. You know what I mean? Like,
but yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but think about the players on offense. You got Le'Veon Bell, Martavius Bryant, Antonio Brown. On the other side, you got Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce. I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, you're right. Oh, and Alex Smith. Are you playing Alex Smith all the time now?
Oh, I don't play Alex Smith ever.
I think if you have him in your long,
I think if the CPU put him on my team like on an auto draft, I cut him straight.
What if he's on your can't cut list? You're like, I'll bench him.
Yeah.
I don't think Alex Smith would ever be on the can't cut list.
So the problem is for people like Mario that have done this for a long time, Alex Smith has always been who Alex Smith was. But it was kind of like when people for even the last 3 years would say that the Spurs are old and boring just because they were old and boring. When they won in 03 and 05. But Kansas City is like an explosive offense now.
The lowest amount of points. The lowest amount of points he scored was 19 points.
No, I get it, but I mean they score in so many different ways that
it's weird. It's just weird.
I saw shovel passes. Those still count as passes.
I still think of Kansas City as a boring defensive minded.
That's what I'm saying.
But they're not. It's so weird. Yeah, it's one of those things. I get my head stuck around something, and I'm like,
that's how I'm thinking it's going to be.
All right, back to Mario.
Back to me. Next game.
This will be a tough one.
That's what we should do. Okay, the Who versus Who. I got the last Who versus Who should have been who scores more points this week, Giants receivers or me. That would have been a pretty good bet. I mean, come on, they have no receivers.
This should have been one of those games where
we switched it.
I switched. I should have.
One of us might have a perfect week. I think we're almost the same picks though. The Philly was different. We're going to try to have a perfect week. Then we'll mess with switching games around.
The Giants have one healthy receiver, and they're going against Denver, who has the best secondary in the league, in Denver, where they almost never lose.
And no one can run against them.
And no one can run against them.
You're not going to run against them.
And you have Eli Manning.
And you have Eli Manning running into this soldier. Mile high.
Broncos 5 points.
Yeah, that's what
I'm sorry. CJ Anderson.
I didn't even think about this.
I'm writing down. I'm trying to switch my pick right now.
From New York.
Yeah, I mean, that's just.
How do I turn an N into a D? How do I do that?
Yeah,
honestly, it would be a better game if it was the New York Jets.
Yeah,
that probably
would be a better game.
It'd be a better game if it was the New York Knicks versus the Denver Broncos.
With that guy. That guy's a quarterback. The dude that
Charlie Ward.
No.
They used to have Charlie Ward.
Charlie Ward
He was a
but
Heisman winner.
I'm talking about
Was he a Heisman winner?
the full court shot.
Oh my God, Jared Jack.
Jared Jack. Yeah.
What?
He threw 72
And why? Okay,
seats.
every sport, if a ball goes into the stands, it's a souvenir. NBA, not so much.
Do that back.
Yeah.
Why can't you
I
keep
just
that?
hold on to it. Like, no, you just hit me with that. I'm keeping it.
You knocked down Cole Bear here. Cole Bear.
That made me mad. Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah,
I think are we all going Denver 5?
Yes.
It has to be, right? I mean, if the Giants win, I don't even know what to do.
If Giants win, I'm not going to do this. We're not doing this anymore. Exactly. I don't know what I'm
That's
talking
the end
about.
of the podcast we never named.
Oh, man. That's
And I
funny.
guess I'm starting the last one, which is Indy at Tennessee, Monday Night Football.
So should this have been another game that we scratch and put in another one?
That's what I think, but apparently
Nope, because I'm picking Indianapolis with 1 point.
Really?
I am.
going out on a limb with that 1 point.
That's right.
Should have done 5.
I was thinking about switching Denver this one just for the excitement of it. But I was like, nah.
Just for the kicks.
No thanks. I don't know. I think Indianapolis' defense better than they should be. I think Brissett's better than he is expected to be, and I don't think Tennessee is as good as they are on either side of the ball.
No.
I think people thought Tennessee was going to be a contender in the AFC, and I think this is going to be one of those games where anybody that still had thoughts of that are going to be really let down. So I'm taking Indianapolis with 1 point.
Okay. I'm taking Tennessee 1 point.
Tennessee 2 points.
Mario,
Derrick Henry.
you think Mariota plays?
Derrick Henry goes off this week.
You and your shitty backup running backs, man.
Dude. Derrick Henry's gonna win me $1 million this week. It's gonna be awesome.
I would be a very big fan of that.
And then I'll start working for you. Like, I don't know what I'll do.
And then we'll just be sponsored by Mario Rodriguez.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And then we can just do this full time.
Yeah.
And that really has some badass stats.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know that when Aaron Rodgers eats spaghetti on every third Wednesday, that he takes a shit the next day?
He's 8-1 also.
Yeah, and he's 8-1 after that. Anyway,
All right, hold on. Before we get into garbage time, this is my own little short garbage time. I heard this
this is
on another podcast.
a pre-garbage time.
How would y'all feel? And
This is
I
recycling
honestly
time.
think
Recycling time. Yeah.
this is one of a brilliant idea, but I don't understand. Like the way they said it made it sound so easy to do, but it's like it shouldn't be allowed, right? So what? Apparently, in one league, somebody didn't have a kicker, and they were waiting to the last minute to pick him up, and it was in a big league. It was like a 16-team league. So one of the guys took a kicker and just kept rotating through each kicker, dropping
the other
it
guy can have one?
and so they were all on waivers, and they did this on like Saturday morning.
Yeah. So that way nobody could pick
So
up
nobody,
kicker.
so you couldn't pick up a kicker.
So what's wrong with that?
No, I think it was brilliant. I thought it was. They were like, this wasn't one of the bigger national.
So it shouldn't have been
podcasts.
It shouldn't have
Then
been
it's like
loud.
it's
allowed
like
to do?
yeah, it's like. I don't
Well, then
know,
be
like,
fucking smart about it.
No,
right?
make it loud sooner. I mean, that actually happened in one of the leagues I was in. This guy who used to be in your league, he did that. And the guy couldn't pick up a kicker. I thought it was hilarious.
I mean, it's genius. Because you just got to take one spot. You just keep picking up. You take a kicker, pick him up, drop him, pick him up, drop him, pick him up, drop him.
And that was the guy. Who was playing.
Yeah.
Week?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Hey, man,
I thought it was so cool.
everybody puts in the same amount of money. Everybody does the same.
You do whatever you got to do to win, man.
Fuck you. That's my money. Are you gonna give me that?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I would do that.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, honestly, I could seriously see it like happening with the quarterback too. A lot of times people wait or defenses, but especially with quarterbacks, when somebody's a quarterback streamer and it's like towards the end of the week and they still haven't picked who they were going to stream for the week, it's like, man, I could just go in there and bloop 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 bloop.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question for you. It's a little. I don't know if it's an ethical question.
Oh goodness.
Well, it's a fun one. It's a golf question. Okay, if you're at Pebble Beach on a par 3, okay, are you with me?
I don't golf.
I'm with you.
Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. You're on par 3. You tee off and you shank your first one and just fucking flies into. You can't even find it.
It's a par, Alex.
You can't.
It's a par. It's not a hole in one.
You know what I'm going to ask you?
Yes.
Okay. And if you hit a hole in one,
Not a whole
It's a
one.
par.
But if it's just you and your friends,
It's a par, man.
okay.
Anywhere. Like if I'm ever to get now it's like if I decided to give myself a mulligan in the middle of the fairway on a par 4 and I chip in for eagle, I'm taking that eagle. But hole-in-ones are like sacred, man.
But you're at a
hole-in-ones are
fucking
sacred.
Pebble Beach. I mean, like one of the most
It's a
fancy.
sacred thing.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where you got to earn it.
Or would you say, hey, this is what happened, and explain it,
Oh hell yeah!
right?
I would say it's the best part of my entire life,
Yeah.
no doubt.
You're an asterisk hole in one.
Yeah, exactly. Got a 1 with a star next to it, and then
It's like, it's like
three next
when
to it.
I used to play Madden on Madden level. I played that the whole season. If I lost in the Super Bowl, I didn't restart it. I just lost. I had to try again the next season.
What?
Oh yeah, I restart. I'm a restarter.
Not me, man. Got to earn that.
We used to have some pretty solid seasons going.
Yeah.
We'd play every game. I'd be a safety on one side, and
That was back when Sean Taylor was still out there playing. Oh, Sean Taylor.
I was some dude for the Packers. I don't even remember who it was.
So fast, dude.
I think it might have been 1 year I was Weddle. Remember Eric Weddle?
Doesn't he still play?
I don't know.
He still plays.
Maybe.
Anyway, all right, garbage time, right quick. Mario came up with this garbage time.
Shitty.
Yeah. Do you want to introduce it?
Yeah, because
This all stems from.
this stems from the game. I was watching the game, and the Cowboys decided to throw a pass at Dez in the back of the end zone. He missed
Stop
it.
the clock.
Stop the clock.
stupid.
They scored a touchdown with 1 minute and like 7 seconds. And as soon as that happened, all I could think was, Packers are going to win this game.
Yeah, they're going
They're
to.
not going to go to overtime. They're going to win the game.
You know why? They would have. I think they would have played it safer if Mason Crosby hadn't missed those 2 extra points. They would have been like, "Fuck it, we'll beat them in overtime."
And then one more thing. On that last play, what I never understood is if you're just going to try and lateral, why do they put offensive linemen? Why don't they just put a whole bunch of corners and fast guys instead of big old linemen?
And then why did they give Jason when they charged him with a fumble and charged me and it cost me 2 points?
Really? It seriously.
Did that really happen?
Yes.
It could have caused
No way.
I beat him by like 3.5.
That really
so it's
happened?
almost close to
Yeah.
counting being the reason.
Oh my goodness! All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my question is if you had to pick one quarterback, Super Bowl, fourth quarter, you're down 5, so you need the touchdown. You got one quarterback.
Other than Tom Brady?
Any quarterback.
Oh, any quarterback.
Who are you going to pick?
Well, this is where I came up with those stats. Obviously, Tom Brady is on par with that because he just did it 10 months ago or 8 months ago. Peyton Manning has 45 fourth quarter comebacks. Tom Brady has 40. The next player that has it that's still playing today is Eli Manning, has 30. Our boy Ben Roethlisberger, and I say our boy because he's the greatest, like one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He has 29, and then Drew Brees and 28, 26.
There's no Tony Romo on that list?
Actually, there is. He is number 15 all time with 25 fourth quarter comebacks.
It's pretty legit.
Man, I would love to know how many fourth quarter pick sixes he had to lose games.
They don't count those stats.
Yeah, those are.
Where's Andrew Luck? Because I know Andrew Luck's actually had a pretty good start. Is he on there at all?
Actually, he is.
No, I thought he had a bunch. Never mind. It's cool.
He probably does like
'Cause they're always behind.
percentage of games he's
Yeah.
played. He
Yeah.
probably has a whole lot.
You know what? I didn't scroll all that far
That's cool.
down.
But who would you pick?
I mean, alive or still playing today?
Anybody.
Alive. Peyton Manning died.
I know. Like, what dead quarterback are you talking about?
Well, Y.A. Tittle.
Oh, yeah. I don't know who that is.
I can go over him. He just died. No, I mean, if I'm going to feel confident going into something like that, I think I would have to pick Tom Brady, just because. I mean, but isn't that kind of cheating?
Nope.
No,
No,
I
why
mean,
is it cheating?
right? I'll be just because he did it in the Super Bowl. But yeah, I would go with Tom Brady. Who would you pick, Mario?
Aaron Rodgers, man. I think.
Yeah, he looks like it. He has 12 fourth quarter comebacks.
Look, Brady's got the 5 Super Bowls, but to me, and I'm one of the biggest Tom Brady fans. Like, I would argue he's the GOAT up until this season. But I think Aaron Rodgers took it from him. I think Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback. I mean, you got to think about
Of all time, though?
Of all time,
Aaron Rodgers, all time?
Aaron Rodgers, the best quarterback. I mean, the dude. he's what 32, 33 years old, and he still is running 25 yards for first downs. Like
I can do that, and I'm 34.
yeah, I mean, dude, Madden doesn't count anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I pick
I'm
up
all
Rodgers.
racing against my kids.
I think his running skills come into play there, and his accuracy. I've just seen it too many times, and I would pick Aaron Rodgers for me. Didn't he lead a Super Bowl comeback when they beat the Steelers?
He probably did.
Yeah.
I'm sure he did. I can look that set up, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah.
But anyway, fuck that guy. I'm just kidding. No, he's a badass. Matt Mayfield.
I think who I'm going to pick, he just hasn't had a chance to do it yet, would be Colin Kaepernick.
I did say alive or dead. Like NFL
I
dead.
just think,
He's NFL dead,
one
right?
drive, and going to take it down to the promised land.
He could have done it against the Rams. Remember we talked about that a few weeks ago?
Exactly, yes.
He easily could have done that.
Well, he had a chance in the Super Bowl against the Ravens, and he didn't do it.
Now, if it's in the literally,
Well,
if
it's because the fucking lights went out, Mario.
it's a Super Bowl,
No, he started playing better after that.
But the lights were out at some point in time.
Super Bowl, if it was a Super Bowl fourth quarter drive, I would actually take Eli Manning.
Oh, right, that's
Oh
true.
god!
Just because of what he's done in his 2 Super Bowl appearances.
No.
Now, if it's just for any quarterback that's like out there, I think it's Aaron Rodgers.
I'd pick Tony Romo.
I'd pick Aaron Rodgers, but yeah, Eli Manning's done some stupid things in fourth quarters of Super Bowls in his
and
chance.
lives with the fucking emoji face. All right, man. Well,
That's it.
Yeah, thanks for coming by. Do you want to give us your Instagrams and how to get in touch with you guys? For
I
any
think
kinds
my
of questions?
Instagram and my
Twitter
are both Matt Mayfield, then the number 10.
or no, you're Matt Mayfield 10 on Twitter and Matt May 100.
Oh, that's right, Matt May 100.
Matt May 100
on Instagram.
on Instagram, and then Matt Mayfield 10 on Twitter. Mario, what are
I
you?
am Mario Rodri, Mario Rodri, on Twitter and Instagram.
No
and
numbers.
DraftKings.
No numbers.
No numbers.
Nice.
I like that, dude. Mario Rodri. You kind of like you're doing that like I'm kind of Hispanic, but I'm not. You're kind of like
Rodri.
Really, it's because when Gmail first came out, they
Yeah.
took Mario Rodriguez taken. So
you just rolled with that. Fucking Gmail.
So that's my Gmail. That's my email address. Yeah. That's
You
me.
can get a hold of him anywhere.
That's right.
Hey,
DraftKings.
you want to give me
Send me
your?
your head-to-heads if you want. Let's
Oh
go.
shit! Oh, you're down for that?
Yeah, someone. Yeah, send me a head-to-head. I'm in.
All right, guys. You can find me at Finding Stacks as well. Let us know if you have any questions or anything, and stay tuned for the next week. And good luck. Fucking tear it up on DraftKings. Who's your special player to pick? Random player. Duke Johnson, right there. DraftKings.
Fuck Duke Johnson.
Okay, he says fuck Duke Johnson. Mario.
I think Duke Johnson was actually a pretty good pick. That's
Fuck Duke
That's a
Johnson.
pretty good sleeper. I like that.
Isaiah Crowell.
Actually, all right. You want to hear one? In tournaments only, and only if you know you're probably going to lose with this pick. Jay Ajayi against the Falcons.
Fuck J.J.
So,
Fuck Jay is right. All right, man.
All right, guys. Have a good week.